Someone said to me, why is it that sadness and trauma is more comforting than the emotion happiness? Like, why is it that I can live every day and feel self-doubt and insecurities and pain and be okay with that instead of wanting to smile and wanting to laugh and wanting to feel joy? Why is it that I can look in the mirror and completely hate everything that I own or have or look like, but not look in the mirror and say that I'm beautiful and great? That same person said to me, mental illness feels like pulling a pin to a grenade and losing that pin and worrying when is the bomb going to explode. I told them that the only way you're going to find the pin is if you put it back in the grenade. I said, one day I read a quote where it says, it's not that any of us doesn't know that something's wrong. It's not that any of us doesn't know the answers to our questions, to our thoughts, to our doubts. It's just that none of us is taking the time to listen to what our bodies are saying. I said, I climbed a hill. I went to the very top. It was sunset. And I remember sitting down facing the sun. And I said, what is it that you need from me? I said it 10 times. On the 10th time, I broke down crying. I had this visceral reaction that I've never felt before. This release, this relief that came over me like a warm hug from the sky. My subconscious mind said to me, I need for you to love me. I need for you to understand me, to want me, to desire me, and to actually want me to coexist. I think for so long, so many people look at their lives and think, I don't want this. I don't want this card. I don't want how I look. I don't want how I dress. I don't want the people around me, the job, the pain, the trauma, the obstacles. I don't want any of it. And so we find comfort zones and we find things that will make us feel good and will make us feel great, whether it's going to something bad like drinking, or if it's writing or expressing yourself in some type of way, rather if it's just wanting to be seen. So we do all these things as we grow up to distract ourselves from the things that we need to see. Block out that voice of doubt and deprecation and fill it with something that will only give us temporary happiness, that will only give us temporary mind loss. And it's like, for what? Because one thing I think I learned that day of being on top of that hill is like, no matter how much I ran from my problems, no matter how much I wanted to look at myself and keep on self-deprecating and keep on living in this void, I had to get out. Because imagine living all your life in darkness and never seeing anything else. That's the comfortability of it. Because you learn how to live in darkness. You learn how to adapt and coexist and breathe so well in your pain that you think there is no reason, I have no reason to experience anything else besides this, because I know how to live in it. And that's no way for anyone to think. The person asked me, how do I truly feel happy? Like, I truly don't understand how to feel that emotion. And I said, one thing I can tell you is that happiness isn't going to come tomorrow. It's probably not going to come the next day after that or the next week. I said, for you to feel happy, it's going to feel like an obstacle course. It's going to feel like you're fighting for your life. It's going to feel like a marathon. Like you're running for so long for little gain. But happiness is the literal small things that you collect over time. And then at the end of the day, you look at what you collected and think, holy shit, I was happier than I thought. I say happiness can come from biting a chocolate cookie and smiling. Happiness could come from a kid laughing from far away. Happiness can be watching your favorite TV show or holding the door open for somebody. But I say the importance of keeping this happiness and holding it in your heart is that you grab onto those moments that you felt warm or you felt something that wasn't sadness, and you collect them. And then you look back and be like, oh, I smiled that day. Or for a split second, I didn't feel lonely. I didn't feel lost. I didn't feel self-deprecating. Happiness, I want to let people know it's not a permanent feeling. I think for so long, so many people are afraid of sadness or afraid of emotion. But I think the moment you allow yourself to embrace every single emotion out there, I'm talking about anger, happiness, sadness, fear, boredom, laughter. When you let yourself experience these emotions fully, you as a person would change. Because every moment I became sad, I will allow my body to feel that. I will allow my body to feel this one emotion fully because I know it needed to. And as I was going through that, I would wonder, why am I feeling this? What is causing it? Is it a source? Is it a chemical imbalance? Is it my depression? Like, why am I feeling this? I realized I had to stop running because my life was becoming like a Halloween movie where no matter how much I ran, no matter how far I went or where I hid, Michael Myers still showed up and he still burdened me, even though I fought tooth and nail to get away from him. I think so many of us look at our lives, no matter if they're good or bad, and want something else. It could be big or small. It could be wanting a new house or wanting a new job or wanting new friends or wanting a new face. And there's some things that you can't fix, getting a new job, getting a new house, maybe getting plastic surgery or finding new friends. But after a while, it's like, how much can I buy? How much can I truly change before I'm happy? How much can I truly change before I see that I don't need any of these things? I think the most important thing is actually grabbing the deck of cards that you have and just saying, fuck it, how am I going to win this shit? How can I reverse Uno the thoughts that run through my mind every single day? How do I show myself that I can be great, I can be amazing and a beautiful human being and not constantly have these thoughts in my mind, this mental health, this trauma weighing me down? Because that's one thing, your mental illness, your mental health is always going to be there. Yeah, we can take medicine to balance out our chemicals and make us numb, but at the end of the day, your mental health, your depression, your anxiety, or whatever you're struggling with is going to be there. So it's like, okay, if you're going to be here and I'm going to allow you to be here because we have to coexist with each other, how am I going to be here and always one up you when it comes to life? How am I going to be here and still enjoy and live my best life even though I know you're there knocking at the door? It's not easy. I know the words that I'm saying right now is not easy. I'm not saying if you stomp on your depression's neck, then you're going to be healed. No. I told that person, I said, even though I sat on that hill and I cried after figuring out what my body needed, it took years and years and years to truly even give it what it wants. And there's still times where I still relapse and I still feel like I'm not giving it enough or being 100% to myself or resorting to my pain as a comfort. Healing isn't overnight. It is a long lifetime journey. And there'll be days where it'll be easier, and there'll be days where it's so hard that you don't even want to get up out of bed, where you probably don't even want to shower. But I think the point of taking control is that I can feel happiness even though I lived through times where that's an emotion that I've never felt, or I can't feel, or I feel like I haven't seen. Happiness isn't the bad guy when it comes to mental illness. It isn't the enemy. It isn't the villain. It's something that you should be okay with allowing yourself to feel. I understand how comfortable living in your thoughts and running away from them and deciding not to deal with what's going on in your subconscious is. But I think it's important for everyone that's struggling is to realize that in our lives, there's so much that we have to offer to the world, and there's so much that we have to offer to ourselves. And I think it's important for us to realize that we are beautiful human beings, and there's going to be many, many, many times where none of us sees it or feels it or even care to want to survive in this planet, but we got to try. I know so many of us are wondering, how can I be happy? How do I be happy? Can I even feel happiness? But the truth is that you'll find it, and you'll find that pin, and you won't explode. And it will feel like every single day of your life that you wake up, that you're going to explode and that you're going to die and that everything's going to come crumbling around you. But that's just not the truth. Because as long as you're alive, and as long as you're fighting, as long as you're doing everything you can to live day after day after day after week, to see your next goal, or to see the next event, or the next whatever to make you smile, you'll realize you're not going to explode. Because at the end of the day, you have the pen in your hand. And there's going to be many times where you're going to find moments where you can put it back in and stabilize yourself. And there's going to be many times where you're going to take it back out and want to just blow everything up. But you need to realize you have control over what happens. You have control because you woke up and you decided to live that day, and you decided to keep going. Don't let the bomb control you. Control it by just surviving.